Hey YouTube, the goat hoarder strikes again. I got 3 more goats, and I'm going to tell you how I did it without scanning the codes. Okay, so I just want to point out that these are the small codes here, instead of the typical larger code, which will take up the majority of this box. So it would be about that big is the larger code. If you find one like this, you can scan it using an app. I will put a link up in here to my previous video that talks about how you can do that, and that's super easy to just scan and figure out exactly what figure you've got. However, this is a small code. These mean nothing. Even though that all of the codes underneath, 443R3 are the same on this, I don't believe that has any indication to the fact that these are actually all goats or goat herders. So just to kind of confirm here, we've got 3 more goats. There's number 2 and number 3. There goes the head. There's the goat right there. All right, so 3 more goats to add to the collection. All right, so how did I do this? Before I show you how I got all 3 goats on the first try, I just want to show you this mock, and if you'd like to learn how to do it, stick around to the end of the video. So I found this blog, True North Bricks, and he goes through a little bit of a guide on the location of the minifigures within the case. Now, I was a little bit confused about this paragraph right here, and I was kind of in a time crunch reading it to try and grab those figures. So I could have maybe read it a few more times and figured it out. But I was correct in my guess. I just wasn't confident that I was going to be correct at the time. So the way he lays this photo out is kind of confusing, for me at least at the time of reading that paragraph. I'm going to break it down for you now. When you are looking at a case and all of these figures are facing towards you, these are going to be the top layer up here, and these are going to be the bottom layer. Okay, so the goats right here are going to be the middle 3 on the right side. So they are going to be these guys right here. 1, 2, 3. I grabbed those and I got all 3 goats. This is not a guarantee. The robots do pack these things, but sometimes they are inaccurate. I have seen personally cases of boxes with the Marvel collectible minifigure series where you didn't even get this spread of figures where it had 3, 3, and 3 of each. Sometimes it would have 2 figures of one and 4 of another, just because it got packed weird. Now, on the case that I had, it looked like it had been pretty freshly put out. However, some of the figures had been grabbed and the top row was messed up a little bit. So I would have loved to grab the Knights as well, Basil the Batlord, but I was not confident that the top layer of figures had been untouched and I could just grab the back 3. I didn't want to really take that risk. So I just pulled that top layer off, and it seemed like the bottom layer had not been touched yet. So I went ahead and grabbed those middle 3 on the right. But if you find a full case undone, this is very likely to be the exact order, with the LA Noir guy on the top layer on this kind of left-hand side if you're facing the case, those first 3 on the top layer, and then on the bottom layer, the Barbarian would be the first 3 on the left-hand side. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and let's get on to how to build the Herder's Camp. Let's break down the basics of this mock. We've got different layers here. Let's take off the goat layer. All right, this one over here is actually standing on our wood pile. All right, so the wood pile is just made up of a few of the cylinder pieces. We've got some of the printed kind of log tiles at the ends there. They're staggered at 2 different levels. We've got a D-snot over here so the goat could stand on it, and then they're all just hooked on to these kind of oval 1x2 plates that are bent at an angle and gives us the wood pile. Fantastic. All right, we've got our goat hoarder. Now I positioned his legs here at a little bit of an angle on one there, so he could have kind of one leg up on the stump, so you can see that it is a stump, and it just kind of gives a little different pose that you'd normally see from a figure. Let's see here, we've got lanterns, got a couple of kind of accessories here. Take those off, a bucket of water. And we've got in here, we got his walking stick and his bag. All right, so the hut itself, let's take that off, is just comprised of a couple of these Technic axle bushings, I guess, with a small axle in between the two of them. And at the top, they're hooked together with one of these bent arm kind of minifig pose pieces here in that medium nougat. All right, and this is all attached to an 8x6 plate with a little bit of texturing on the back that you never even really got to see, but it just breaks it up and adds a little bit of color. We've got one of these wedge plates right here to kind of make it seem like this hide or something is going over the top and draped, and that is again a D-snot. Love the D-snot piece right there. And we've got a couple of those brackets holding all that together, and then a hollow stud with a Exoforce arm and a little pan at the end there. That's all just going to fit right there. Again, one of those printed log tiles. Love those things. All right, so that kind of hooks in like that. It does hang over the edge, but that's okay. And then the axle holes are actually just fitting into these, I guess they're 1x1 tiles that are modified at the top with the bar and the mini peg hole. They often use those for water bottles and stuff. Got a couple of these kind of curved tiles here to kind of represent a goat hide. And then that stump piece is going to be on a 2x2 round plate as well. These are just a couple of different kinds of plants stuck into hollow studs. And there's another one there with the 6 stems, just to kind of give some variety. We've got the bright green 16x16 plate there, and then regular green kind of spread throughout just to kind of model the color a little bit. Here on the campfire, we've got several different pieces at work here, so I'm going to take the pot off. Now that pot just has a stud and a tile printed to make it look like some stew or soup that's cooking. That just puts it right towards the lip of the pot there. And then we've got fire just kind of resting in here. It was all being held together by the pot. So we've got a couple of the normal flames. We've got a candle flame in a hollow stud, all in transparent orange. We've got another one of those candle flames just resting on the ground. And then the base of it are some of the dot tiles in orange and black with a 4x4 round plate with a hole in the middle. And then we've just got some little bits of gray and dark gray along with a black skeleton leg as that kind of iron piece that's holding the pot into the fire. Pretty simple. We've got a nice layout of parts, and those are the layers. Man, I can't thank you enough for sticking around to this point in the video. I really appreciate all your support, your comments. They're super encouraging. And I've been having a lot of fun making these videos. We do have shirts available, azure-bricks.com, and we will be making more soon. So thank you again. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.